Greetings all! Today, we will be examining the uncommon water-type Pokemon Pyukumuku, the Sea Cucumber Pokemon. Bizarre in appearance, mannerisms, and powers, Pyukumuku are strange creatures that more than push the boundaries of what can truly be considered a Pokemon in any sort of capacity. Pyukumuku have ovoid brown bodies with a series of pink, fleshy protrusions on their upper side that stick up, acting as sensory apparatuses for detecting things immediately above them, as well as blank, pink eyes. Their back end has a white, sticky, fleshy protrusion that acts as a trap for filtering out toxins from their body and the bodies of others, while they have a 5-pointed mouth on their front from which they can expel their internal organs for defense. Pyukumuku are among the few species of Pokemon that really push what can be defined as a Pokemon for one primary reason, and that is the fact that they are completely incapable of directly attacking anything in front of them, no matter what level of experience they might be at. These creatures, as sea cucumbers, are fairly benign organisms that do very little to make their presence known, preferring to sit in one spot for the entirety of their lives and simply filter out food from the waters around them in order to get the nutrients they need to survive. As a result of this, these creatures pose no way to directly harm others, as there is very little muscle tissue in them to do that. Plus, their small size makes them a target for many others. Thankfully, while they are unable to do anything to directly attack others, they are not completely defenseless, as with the members of the Why-Not family, these creatures can eventually gain access to some moves like Counter that can help them deliver reactionary damage to others, as well as other moves like Toxic that can help them whittle away at others, while their incredibly tough skin allows them to take repeated blows without being easily phased. Normally, this is the most that these creatures can do, but they do have some unique attributes that can help them stay alive a little bit longer in a fight if needed. For one thing, these creatures have access to a signature technique, the Purify technique, in which they spit a toxin-absorbing net of tissue onto an opponent. This does not hinder the opponent in any way, and in fact, it actually works to absorb any toxins that might be in their system, effectively curing them of any status condition they might have. However, if this move does so, when the membrane is retracted back inside of them, Pyukumuku can then process these toxins, something that they specialize in, and use that to create an energy source for themselves, effectively healing half of their maximum HP. Moreover, while these creatures can sometimes be so simple-minded in their form that they can ignore stat changes of others and thus have the Unaware ability as a hidden ability, it is their only primary ability, Innards Out, that truly defines them as a potential threat. Like many other types of sea cucumber, when these creatures feel threatened, their last line of defense is to spit out their internal organs as a counterattack. For normal sea cucumbers, this is a threat to others because their insides are coated with a sticky substance that can entrap and suffocate others, or even poison them, and the damage done to the host is minimal, as they can usually regrow their internal organs in a matter of days. In the case of Pyukumuku, however, there's actually some serious muscle tissue holding their insides together, and when they are ejected, they are done so with a fist-shaped form to them, so when they strike an opponent, they are literally punching their opposition with their organs. What this means in battle, though, is that when these creatures are knocked out by an attack, they will strike back with this fist of eternal organ tissue, and deal damage to the opposition equal to the amount of HP they lost that caused them to be knocked out. This can prove to be a devastating blow to sweepers, as it means that knocking out these beasts in a single blow can result in some serious knockback to the attacker. This is not always an easy feat though, as these creatures are also well armored thanks to the thick skin they possess, and while most of their stats are quite terrible and below average for fully evolved water-type Pokemon, their base defense and special defense stats are quite high and possess above average values for fully evolved Pokemon of their type, so they can still take quite a beating and prove to be more than a bit hard to take down without serious offensive strength on one side. While they have the potential to be a threat in the right circumstances, for the most part, Pyukumuku are benign creatures that, while normally found in deeper waters where they have few natural predators, they can often be found in warmer, shallow coastal waters in places like the Alola region as a result of the nutrient-rich state of the waters, and are thus a common sight on beaches. Unfortunately for them, these creatures are incredibly stubborn to a potentially lethal fault, as when these creatures find a spot on the ocean floor or shore that they find to be particularly comfortable or rich in food, they will lay there and never move from the spot, even if the tide goes out and they are stranded and left for dead. As a result of this, beachgoers in this region have taken to grabbing the creatures and throwing them back into the water when they look ill or have a thin belly, and the act of Pyukumuku chucking has now become a bit of a sport and pastime in the Alola region, adding some fun to the otherwise mundane lives of these creatures as they continue to come back to their preferred spot time and time again. Even this is not always that appeasing to others though, as aside from their drab appearance, these creatures are also coated in a slimy film that, on land, helps to keep them moist and protected against germs, but also makes them slippery. This intentionally makes it harder for larger organisms to handle them, and moreover, it means that they are a walking hazard, as it is very easy to slip on them if stepped on, something both parties are unlikely to be very happy about. This film does have some use though, as it is also an incredible healing tonic that can help damaged tissue regenerate quite quickly, and it has often been used as a treatment for sunburns and a popular ingredient in ointments made in the Alola region for that very purpose. The only word of caution that can really be thrown out is to avoid touching the pink structures on their bodies, as these are sensory apparatuses designed to detect any motion that occurs directly above them, where their primitive eyes are unable to see. If they are touched harshly, it will lead these creatures to strike back with their internal organ fist, so it is unwise to try and simply pick them up without letting them get a good eye on their friend, and not foe, that is about to move them. While they definitely might be among the most unconventional of fighters out there, Pyukumuku are fascinating little beasties that can definitely make themselves a nuisance if their odd powers cannot be properly countered. You might never be able to directly attack with them in any sense, but if you can manipulate the battle in your favor, these little critters can be made into serious contenders in any fight. Just do yourself a favor and, if you see one of these creatures on the beach sometime, make sure to throw it back into the water, but carefully and respectfully. They might not have much in the way of intelligence to speak of, but that doesn't mean they won't get angry if you pick them up improperly and decide to exact some retribution by delivering a sticky sucker punch that few will ever see coming at all. Thank you all for watching this video. It is always an honor to be able to speak with you all on the subject of Pokemon in a way that brings me great joy and happiness in my work. If you would like to keep tabs on past and future work, click that subscribe button, check out my work on DeviantArt, and don't be shy about following me on Twitter, where you can find pertinent announcements on upcoming work before it is officially posted. Links to both can be found in the video description. If you would like to support my work and help Miguel and I continue to produce more content for you and improve upon our presentation, please visit us at my Patreon page, which you can also find a link to in the video description. With that, I thank you for watching and I wish you well.